What's up, YouTubers? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about the Houston Texans quarterback, DeShaun Watson, and how he's ranked as the 13th overall player in the league. So let's see what they have to say about that.
How much pressure do you think DeShaun is under this season?
Well, I think he's under some pressure, not as much pressure as Bill O'Brien to make it work, considering some of the decisions that Bill O'Brien made. But I think he's under some pressure because, again, Lamar Jackson is the league MVP. Patrick Mahomes is clearly the man. And so you've got two quarterbacks within the AFC conference that are scheduled to do their thing, along with the return of Big Ben Roethlisberger. Then when you look at the AFC South, the Tennessee Titans are still the team to beat right now. We've got to give them their props, although it's more so because of Derrick Henry than it is because of Ryan Tannehill. But with Phillip Rivers arriving in Indianapolis, with Frank Reich coaching that team, with the kind of talent that they have on that squad, you've got to remember that you've got two teams within the same division that could potentially make some noise over DeShaun Watson, who no longer has DeAndre Hopkins at his disposal. So I would...
Big mistake by the Houston Texans to let DeAndre Hopkins get away from them. Huge mistake.
Say that the pressure is still there. It's not as extreme as some would believe because of the decisions that Bill O'Brien made that I believe will hamper this franchise. But nevertheless, when you're a star the magnitude of DeShaun Watson, who's capable of doing the things that he's capable of doing, you can't summarily dismiss him and eradicate the pressure or eliminate the pressure from him. Because with or without the talent, do you want to be that dude? You've got to go out there and show that you can still be that guy.
Well, I think it's two different questions. It's external pressure versus internal pressure. The external pressure is alleviated by the fact that DeAndre Hopkins isn't there. Everyone knows that was an idiotic trade. You took on a bad contract and a running back and gave up an all-time great wide receiver in his prime with whom your star quarterback, still ascending quarterback, has great chemistry and everything, and obviously...
And they could have been one of the best duos in the league this season.
Without that weapon, now the pressure's a little bit alleviated externally. Internally, however, I wouldn't be surprised if DeShaun Watson feels a greater responsibility, because that's the kind of guy he has. In every sport, you have clutch performers, and they can range from good to great or even not so good under normal circumstances, and they elevate. It's a real thing. They elevate under pressure. So in football, Joe Montana's an all-time great, and under pressure, he got even better. Eli Manning was a good quarterback. Under pressure, he became an all-time great. I think about starting pitchers in my lifetime, guys who I watched, from Fernando Valenzuela to El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, Kurt Schilling, John Smoltz, guys, and they range from good to great. But under pressure, they all got better. They were better versions of themselves. DeShaun Watson's one of those guys. And he's a good quarterback normally. Very good quarterback normally. But when you need him most, he's a great quarterback. And that comes from, I think, guys who feel that responsibility to do it. That can crush some people if they don't know how to handle it, even the internal expectations. But DeShaun Watson thrives better, clearly. So while the external pressure is less, I expect less from this team. I think many in the media do. I don't expect DeShaun Watson feels any less responsibility. If anything, I'll bet you he feels more now that DeAndre Hopkins isn't there.
So I just hope DeShaun Watson doesn't really take this to heart. I mean, I want him to take it to heart, but I hope he doesn't try kill himself and try to overcompensate for the stupidity of the Houston Texans and getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins by trying to do everything and just going all out and just burning himself out because he's trying to carry the weight of another superstar that should have been there. So I just hope it's not ruined, his organization doesn't ruin him and this doesn't continue going on, because DeShaun Watson's too good of a quarterback to not have any success in the NFL. I know he's still young, but still, you can already see the writing on the wall of not being able to take care of him and get him the weapons that he needs, and he might burn himself out. So I don't know. Let's continue.
Yeah, Max, I think because of what you just said, the fact that people believe that when you need him more, he becomes great, I think that kind of makes both the external and internal pressure rise for him in this coming season. Coupled with the fact that this is a young man who, look, his former coach Dabo Swinney down at Clemson compared him to Michael Jordan, and he is someone who right now has won 2 consecutive division titles. They were 11-5 and 10-6. And now he also, remember this, he's now up for a contract extension, a contract renegotiation extension that he wants to be paid, I am sure, in the realm of the greats, somewhere in between Patrick and Russell Wilson. So we're talking 38, 40 million maybe plus per year. So with that being said, look, he's also being asked to do this, to become great by doing it with less. You're right. The trade away of DeAndre Hopkins is ridiculous. Think of all the ways in which the other quarterbacks, the young gunslingers in the AFC have been helped out. Think of how Patrick Mahomes has been helped out from the very get-go by Brett Beach and Andy Reid as far as putting weapons around him. Think of how Lamar Jackson is being helped out down in Baltimore by Coach Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta, the general manager, by the kind of weapons they continue to bring in for him. In Houston, what are they doing? Right now, his most explosive weapons are guys who really have an injury history, Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller. These are two guys who, when they're on the football field, they're two of the fastest, most explosive players in the NFL. But are they going to be on the football field? Are they going to be able to be dependent upon? That's what DeShaun is faced with. That's where DeShaun is going to have to elevate everyone around him, a la 7, right? He's going to have to elevate everyone around him, try to take this team from being a division winner to being an actual AFC title contender, to try and get paid at the same time and doing it with less. So I think, when we kind of talk about quarterbacks and talk about great players in the NFL, and quarterbacks in particular, we that's synonymous with winning. So that's really all that's going to matter when it comes to the Houston Texans is, did DeShaun Watson help them win or not? Did he take...
See, but that's the thing right there is it's not that really that cut and dry with DeShaun Watson. It's not where did he win or did he not win. You have to split hairs. It's like, did he have any weapons? Did he have a DeAndre Hopkins on his squad? Did the Houston Texans get rid of DeAndre Hopkins type players? I hope that, DeShaun Watson doesn't burn out or try to kill himself trying to compensate for the Houston Texans getting rid of DeAndre Hopkins, and he tries to do everything and he burns himself out, or we never get to see the full potential of DeShaun Watson. I mean, put DeShaun Watson on a New Orleans Saints team with Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. Put DeShaun Watson on the Kansas City Chiefs with the Tyreek Hill and a Travis Kelce, with all those type of players. And I bet you we would see a different type of player. And I bet you he can put up the type of numbers that all the other superstars in the league are able to put up. So again, like I said, I just hope it doesn't mess up DeShaun Watson to where he burns himself out. And I hope it doesn't get fans to look at DeShaun Watson like he's trash because, he can't win. Well, there's a reason why he can't win. He doesn't have too many weapons, if any weapons at all. So let's continue.
Past AFC South titles, or didn't he? Was he able to defeat Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, or wasn't he? And you know what? If I'm DeShaun Watson, I'm saying, hey, look, stack it all against me. Stack it all against me. You call it pressure, I call it responsibility. That's what I'm here to do. That's why I'm going to get what I'm after, which is one of those big-time contracts that's going to put me up there in the upper echelon in terms of average, salary per year that has ever been seen in the NFL. That's what he's after. That's the responsibility that he has. That's the challenge he has in front of him.